We're talking AI, and we are talking its impact on SEO and search. It is a rapidly unfolding space, and really just want to unpack a little bit around what's happening specifically in the SEO world, how AI is affecting search, some tools, some awesome tools that you can be using as a business owner in your search efforts. And then just generally like how we stay front of the wave. So Ollie, I did a bit of a general audit. Where are we at as of March 2023? So ChatGPT, fastest tool to get to 100 million users. They did that in 2 months. So when we talk about SEO, we immediately think Google. Google have had a monopoly for a very long time. Here in Australia specifically, 94.6% of all searches are done on Google. So they have pretty much the market stitched up. And then specifically, Ollie, you spent a lot of time curating, trying to rank content. So us as SEO experts, we're just like a little bit nervous. There's just, there's a degree of trepidation in terms of how things are going to evolve. Would you agree with that?
100%. And I think it's like half of it nervous, and then the other half's a bit excited as well. So
yes,
it's a bit of a balancing game.
But I think we both agree just in that point that the nature of search is going to change, right? But then, really like looking into our crystal balls, how is it going to change? And that's what we're really just trying to unpack a little bit today. Mm-hmm. So what do we do, Ollie?
So we jumped in and asked the man themselves, ChatGPT. He said, please summarize what is the future of SEO, considering all the change that is happening with tools such as ChatGPT. So it came back with a few dot points here, and I'll read them out. So we've got SEO will continue to be an important aspect of digital marketing in the future. I think we can all agree on that.
Sure.
The reason for, so the focus of SEO may shift towards creating high quality, relevant and engaging content that provides value to users. Now, I'd argue it's already shifting that way, and it has been. I think Google's come out and pretty much every single update's more towards just create good quality content. So that's just constantly what Google's saying. And if Google's saying it, other search engines and other tools like ChatGPT are going to want to see that as well. So the other one was voice search and artificial intelligence will have a significant impact on SEO in the future. I'm not sure if many people were around the digital space years ago, but voice search was something that was coming up a bunch. Everyone thought that it was going to replace Google, and everyone was just going to be talking into their phones and talking at their Google Home and stuff like that. It definitely had an impact. Did it take over completely and change SEO and make SEO dead in a sense? No, it didn't. So that's why I can argue it's still going to be an important aspect, but it will definitely have a bit of an impact there.
As an input-output device, your voice is a lot more efficient than these appendages that are attached to our hands here, right? So it makes sense, but it also, I'm utilizing voice a lot more just generally through messages and all that sort of stuff. So I think there is definitely a future for the voice side of things.
For sure, yeah. The next one was the future of SEO is likely to be more focused on providing a great user experience and utilizing advanced technologies such as AI to better understand user intent and provide relevant content. So that one, along with that second point, I would say are closely together. Again, it's just saying that the future of SEO is likely to be about greater user experience, which again, we already know. So we know that good user experience, good quality content, that's what they want to see. So we just need to make sure we're still hitting those. And a good little example of how AI need a bit of human touch is in that last point. So you'll see utilizing there, spelled with a Z. So it's always going to have the output in.
You still need a proofreader in there, mate.
You still, it's not good.
But I probably didn't give it a very good instruction, did I? I should have said
straight English. We'll probably dive into that in one of the next slides.
Correct.
But yeah.
So just to sort of, our view or take on the world is organic SEO won't change. And it doesn't matter if it's, If it's being Google, the fundamental principles don't change around the optimization of content. But what ChatGPT does exceptionally well is it gives you the answer straight up. So you think about the Google experience of going there, and even though it's super simple, like literally the homepage of Google is a search box, you type in your search phrase or your query. But you've still got to sift through ads. You've got to sift through knowledge panels. You've got to, go through all the Google My Business and localized sort of search results. So what ChatGPT does really well is just streamlines that process and extracts what those results are. And this is going to be even further accelerated by the release of plugins. So these have been sort of rolled out to a bunch of users. Developers can write plugins to integrate with ChatGPT. So if you look at something like, Expedia or any sort of travel booking engine, I could give a command to say, find me the cheapest flight from Brisbane to LA, give me 3 suggested hotels near the airport and the cheapest car hire that I can find for these specific dates, right? And then through that booking engine, it comes back with a whole bunch of stuff. And then, you can say, set up an autoresponder or notify, my friend that here's a proposed itinerary or whatever that integrates with Gmail. So you're going to see all these just explosive things happening. This is happening with social networks. You mentioned through ChatGPT, it's pushing now to Snapchat and all that sort of stuff. So that is going to be super interesting to see how that unfolds. And as an extension of that, like what ChatGPT does really well is remembers chat history and context, right? So as you're going through these commands, you could say, hey, can you give me a recipe for a vegan-friendly, tasty cake? Okay, so then it gives a recipe for that. And then I realized, actually, I want to put some sprinkles on this cake. So if you were looking at, Google, I would have done the search query, and then I would have had to go and do a separate search query, and the two queries were not interlinked, whereas GPT would remember the context that they need to be, vegan friendly or whatever, sprinkles that need to go on this cake. So that's just an example of how context works really, really well and how that can evolve.
So yeah, there's definitely a place for it. Is it the answer for everything? No. If you're wanting to learn how to tie your shoelaces and for some reason you need a video, ChatGPT wouldn't be able to send that video through. So that's where you would probably have to get onto a search engine and look up a video, or you would have to sift through some articles if you're looking for a more in-depth answer. But it definitely has its place.
So what are some other things to note, mate?
I think we slightly touched on it then. So particular searches will become more streamlined. So something like the example we just had. So that's going to be a lot more streamlined. So things you need a quick answer to. So how to bake a cake, quick recipe, and then you're going to end up baking the cake. It's going to be a very quick process. And Bing.com currently summarizes this through footnotes. So they give you a quick answer to the query, which you see on the right there in a little info box. So the way Bing's done it there, you sort of have both sides of it. You have those quick answers on the right there, but then they're also giving you sort of listings and websites where you can go through and actually get a more in-depth answer as well. So
opinion articles, what do you reckon about those?
Yeah, so these will definitely still continue to rank, like a human recommendations, so top 10 fashion trends or car reviews and stuff like that again are a lot more in-depth. They're going to be based on humans and the way we perceive something. So that's definitely still going to have a place. And then similar to for local SEO. So this is a big one. And this is something that we're finding with working in SEO and working with a lot of local clients is that it's becoming more popular. So a lot more people are engaging with the Google My Businesses and looking at reviews, and reviews are becoming more popular. So AI can't replace that social proof. For example, Plumber Gold Coast or Accountants Gold Coast, those sort of search terms, it won't be able to replace that. So it still has a place, local SEO, and I don't think that at the moment, AI would be able to replace that just yet.
Yeah, and that ties into, that sort of, it was actually Google study, the 0 moment of truth. But as a principle, if you're going to make a big purchasing decision. Like, people are still going to do their research. They're going to check you out online. They're going to, watch a bunch of videos. They're going to want to have a conversation and all this sort of stuff, right? So I think we're more sort of talking about these top of funnel activities potentially that may change, and just how businesses sort of, get the traffic to their site initially and capture those leads. In short, mate, nothing's changed. Content is still king.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think ChatGPT said it themselves. Good quality content. Just got to make sure that that's the main goal of what you're doing, and the rest will follow.
We'll go through this process here and we'll sort of demonstrate how we're utilizing these tools. So how are we utilizing these tools?
It's very dangerous to rely solely on ChatGPT or other AI tools to build that content or SEO strategies from scratch. So in one of the earlier slides, John had asked ChatGPT, list out what the impact of AI is going to be on SEO. And it came back with some American spelling. It didn't include a bunch of stuff. So what you can do is you can actually prime the AI. So you can go to the AI and say, hey, in this tone of voice, give it a bunch of information. So you can even give it like Google guidelines. You can give it content guidelines to say, hey, this is what Google likes to see. And then you can prime the AI and give it all this information. So then when it responds to you, it's a lot more custom to sort of what you want. And then it still needs a lot of human touch. So it's not, you can't just give the AI a prompt, get the answer and chuck that straight on your website. You're right, it probably won't rank that well. It's not good quality content. And that's exactly what we need. We need good quality content. So it's definitely going to help, but it does need a bit of that human touch, and also definitely work on priming it before and giving it the information that you want to receive from it. Rather than writing the content, we're using it to help with the production. So instead of just being like, hey, write a 1,000 word blog, and then, like I said, just chucking that on the website, what we'll get it to do is help with idea generation, article outlines and structure, research, title tags and meta descriptions, SERP analysis, which is an awesome one. And that sort of ties into that research. So that one's referring to actually search engine results page analysis. So what we do with a couple AI tools is we actually look at who's ranking for a certain search term, and then it'll tell us similarities between those listings that are ranking. So it'll say they've got this many keywords in there, they've got this many words altogether, they have this many different headings, and they're using this sort of structure. So it just helps us get an understanding of what's ranking already, and then that can help you structure your content as well. And then you've got stuff like schema generation, which is a pain to do, but AI can definitely help that. And then the last one, which is curing writer's block. So if you're halfway through a blog and you're sort of like, I just can't finish this sentence, or you're halfway through a social media post and you're like, I don't know what else to say, you can put that into an AI and just be like, hey, this is what I've got. And if you've got enough there, it can just finish the sentence for you and sort of tie that off. And it's really good for that as well.
Speaking of tools, here is a bit of a cross-section as to what we're using as of today.
That first one, Jasper.ai. So this is a content creation AI tool. One of the big things for Jasper was that, it was one of the leaders. So it sort of came to play and it created really good content. And you could tell with a lot of other AIs at the time, they were very, very low quality. This one had a bit more of initiative and sort of could write things out in quite good quality. It definitely needed a lot of human touch, but it was one of the OGs, and it could assist with website copy, blogs, social posts, a bunch of other stuff. And it had a bunch of templates too for people that wanted to use those. And then it recently, I believe at the end of last year, came out with a Chrome extension, which was super useful. And that's where you'd be able to use it sort of on the go. So if you were halfway through writing an email and you didn't know how else to finish the email, like I mentioned before, you got a bit of writer's block, the extension would actually let you click it, and then it would finish that sentence for you. So it would save a lot of time. And it was just an awesome tool all around. The second one in there is Phrase. So this one had a content creation side to it. We didn't utilize that side of it too much because we had things like Jasper, but we did utilize the SERP analysis side. So that's what I was mentioning before, really helping with the research and telling us, sort of guiding us in the structure of the blogs. And it'll look at the top 10 results or the top 25, however many you want to look at, and it'll tell you similarities between them. And that will just help you guide in the content process. And then, of course, ChatGPT, which is we've talked about enough already, and I'm sure it's the one everyone knows about. So it's the industry leader at the moment for sure, and it can do a range of different things. So it's an awesome tool.
So in terms of just my general sort of parting shots around this, I look at like our role as a digital agency and one that is geared in and around delivering real tangible results for our clients. So we pitch ourselves as a performance-based agency that you get you spend some money, you get a lot more money back, right, for your investment. So the space that we're operating in for our clients is the customer acquisition space. So if it's not Google and if it's not Bing, it's going to be some other traffic channel, right? So that's really us as providers and you as business owners. That's what you're focused on. So we will still be there and required to help our clients navigate this landscape to ultimately drive results. So it's more the tools and the process that's going to evolve and change. Ollie, sure. What are your words of wisdom, mate?
Parting words of wisdom. So SEO is an ever-evolving industry and has had big changes like this plenty of times. And we touched on that with voice search, and that's still changing it as well. And there's been a lot of other changes through the way Google even ranks websites completely. So Rank Brain was a massive update back in the day that everyone thought it was just going to collapse SEO as a whole. And there's been a bunch of other ones that come out. And so it's ever-evolving. Stuff like this is happening. We just got to make sure we're staying in front of it. The second point, leverage AI for your SEO and digital marketing efforts. So make sure you're using it. There's a lot more out there than just ChatGPT. So I know that one's sort of become the big thing. Everyone knows about it, but there's a lot more than just that. Do research into what you need, whether it's creating images or anything like that. There's a bunch of different tools out there. So make sure you're leveraging them. And even Google is jumping on the bandwagon. So that's one to keep in mind, Bard. So they've released that a while ago. It's not accessible yet in Australia, but I'd keep your eye on it, seeing as they're monopolizing the industry at the moment. I'm assuming their chat will come in and probably shake it up a little bit as well. So keep your eye out for that. There are a number of articles that are saying the content created with ChatGPT won't rate with Google search. Is that true? I would say no. If you're grabbing an article straight from GPT, you've given it one single prompt and then you're chucking it straight on your website, it's going to be low quality. So yeah, it won't rank, but it's not technically to do with the AI. It's just to do with it being low quality content. So as long as you're creating high quality content with it, whether it's with the help of AI or it's just straight off the brain, it's gonna do well.
Claire inputted, what will be the impact of ChatGPT's info delivery on commercial content? No links to my website, just my content aggregated with everyone else's. I don't have an answer to that. Like it really, like you see Bing's approach around footnotes. I think generally, like fundamentally, they want to provide a good user experience, and these large language models, obviously they're feeding from data from everywhere, right? So spider scraping. So I don't know how they're going to attribute that. I just don't have an answer to that, but I certainly get the intent of your question and the fact that you've taken a lot of time and effort to produce quality content. You put it out there to the world. If it's not attributed, then that would be annoying. So yeah, I get that. I don't know whether you got anything to add to that, Ollie.
I think just it comes back to like you said, it's they just want to provide a good user experience, and if they can answer the question without somehow linking to your website and getting them to the source of the information, then they'll do it. But I doubt it's gonna. I always think it'll come back to that. Websites are going to still be a thing. There'll still be links to the website and sort of make sure that again that social proof is there. People are going to want to see all that stuff. So I wouldn't worry too much.
If anyone is interested in unpacking this further, our process, if someone wants to build out their web and digital presence, is to run through what we call web strategy workshop, interactive workshop. It is a paid workshop, but really this is where we get to know you, your business, who you are, what you do, how you do it, and really define what success looks like and paint a picture as to what opportunities exist there out in the world, utilizing different tools like ChatGPT, keyword research, building quality content, wrapping that around a good quality website, and making sure that you get lots of leads and inquiries coming through. So if anyone is interested in that, let us know. Otherwise, that is us for today. Ollie, any other words of wisdom, mate?
Just if you're interested in any of the AI tools we're talking about, or if you're interested in just AI at all, feel free to shoot me through an email, or John. We're more than happy to sort of walk you through tools and assist with that as well. So let us know.
There's, just with Jasper, there's actually, I think, a 10,000 word trial. They measure it through word count. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool. And then that phrase, it's phrase.io as well.
Mhm.
So go and check them out.